Oh, hello and welcome. Thank you for being here. Whether you're with me here live or catching up with me later on in the VOD, I appreciate you. I'm trying to turn my character so, I can wave at you. There we go. There we go. Anyhow, in this stream, I'm planning on just revisiting some of my older tutorials, some of the things that I have done in the past to see if I can still do them, if they still work, or, if I can still remember. And we'll check out some of my older projects as well. I'm here on my old project hub world. So that's what I got going on. Be sure to visit vote.gov to check your voter registration and eligibility. It's really important considering the fact that we are still, even though voting has started, trying to purge voters out of the rolls. But anywho, I don't have a lot going on today. Besides that, I figured this should be a pretty chill, just hanging out stream, checking out some of the stuff that I've done in the past, and looking forward to things that I might be able to do in the future. So let's see. Hi, Sarah. Thank you for being here. I'm happy to see you. Thanks for testing out the command function that I've got going on in MatBot. MatBot doesn't welcome himself anymore, which is kind of nice. So anyhow, yeah, and I don't spam myself with stuff either, which is pretty cool. So, let's check out some of the things. I want to look at. I know this was the first. Here's something that I was doing. For Farmheim, I was looking at ways to label chests and whatnot. I built the storage hub, and I was gonna use symbols to label all the chests instead of words. These are just little ANSI pigs, so that we knew raw meat was gonna go in there. That was gonna be kind of cute. It's multiple signs shoved together. But anyhow, that's not what I'm doing. So I think the first tutorial that I did was my light pillar tutorial. And I used a mod to do that, so I'm interested to see if I can reproduce this without using a mod, which would be nice. Let's see. And then I don't remember if the second tutorial that I did was the ramps, but I think we'll do a little bit of ramping. We'll go on from there. So I've got a whole bunch of stuff. We'll get to look at some of the older projects that I've done on here and go from there. But yeah. That's what I've got going on. What do you got going on, Sarah? I think it's just me and you against the world today, but that's okay for now. These impromptu streams don't give people a lot of forward warning, but we do have people that catch up in the VOD, which is pretty nice. So I'll use this platform over here. This will be my platform for trying to revisit some of the tutorials. I was actively working. I don't remember if I even made this video, but I was working on a different kind of wall type where you use ovens and that nice little texture in there. But we'll look at that and we'll play with that a little bit. I kind of don't really remember how I did that, and I think snapping has changed a little bit since I've done that. So that'll be interesting to do. And then I've got a couple other things that I've got hidden over here. I was working on a massive, huge, large base to see how big of a base we could make when my wife and I were playing, and then I think I kind of realized that it was going to be too big. I don't even remember doing this, so that's cool. I must have been working on a thing here. Probably maybe like a tower base or something. Let me see here. What's going on with this? Hang on. Let me check this. Do. Checking on something here. Sarah says, I just finished doing a build with Kyle, talking with a bunch of people about season 2, Naked and Afraid. Oh my gosh. Watched a little bit of Naked and Afraid. That's pretty fun. So season 2, that'll be nice. That's exciting to hear. Let me test this real quick. There we go. There we go. And I saw you were doing some building streaming on Discord, and I popped in there for a second. I just wanted to watch, and I didn't realize it was going to like make it so I could talk, so I kind of skipped out on that. Um, yeah, one of the things that I was working on are my creator buddy spotlights, and I've got some in there. It should have fired automatically, but we'll figure that out as we go. So that'll be kind of cool. That's kind of a cool little project. Let's see, what else do I have going on here? Bloop bloop bloop. Kind of going in the wrong direction. This is my boatyard of destruction that I did a while ago, where I was just trying to figure out how we can get boats to move and whatnot, not on the water. Probably won't mess with that so much. And I will dig into some of these little projects over here as we go. Some of them are pretty easy, right? How to spam put cooking stations on top of stuff. How to center objects on top of other objects, I think is still kind of relevant, because I don't know if you can still do that or not. How to center within 2x2s, how to center within 1x1s. And I may actually have to watch my tutorials, because I don't remember how to do that. Easy ones like how to have a second floor fire. Shield styles, which was one that I'm kind of excited about doing in the future. This post looks kind of funky, looks pointed. Clearly we can still have underwater boats, because that boat is doing just fine. Down there, we can come down and visit it. Hi, little boat, underwater. But this one I think is one of the ones that we'll start with here in a little bit. And then a couple little cool things. I built something similar to this on Farmheim as a boat, or as a beacon kind of situation. And then I was working on whether or not boats can be shoved by wolves, which I have kind of a theory about this still. So maybe we'll experiment with that as well. And then my underwater house, so I want to make sure that we can still, I can't even visit it. Free fly. But yeah, we got my underwater house that's in here. Which is kind of part of the underwater building, or the underwater boat that's chilling over there, which is cool. And let's turn free fly off. Whoops. Blip, blip, blip. And then I tested this to see if it still spun, which it does. My carousel, which I think is going to be important here in the future. And then I've got a spiral ramp that I was working on a tutorial for as well, which is kind of neat. Goodness. All right. And then I was testing the limits of how tall you can build, which is pretty tall. Pretty tall indeed. And then a whole bunch of stuff that was just shoved in here. In fact, I think one of the first things that I was going to do is the first thing I was experimenting with was how does smoke move in this game. And I had built some ductwork to test that out. But I probably won't get that far. And we still got more. We still got more to see. My first experimental cool pattern floors, those were pretty fun. I don't know if these still work, because again, snapping has changed, so we'll play with that. I used something similar to this on Farmheim for the portal hub, which was kind of cool. And then my spiral staircase tutorials that I did as well. These were kind of important. I think these are my measurements for the circles themselves, because making circles in this game was kind of a thing. So yeah. And then I was working on a spiral bridge, but that was a project and a half. So let's start over here. Let's start with something easy. At least I hope it'll be easy. I'm clearly using dev commands and no cost. Excuse me. So I've got a whole pile of stuff that I don't really recognize in here, but let's start with the door, because the door is kind of, everything kind of hinges on whether or not the door still works, right? It looks like you can still snap to the door, which is good. I like to leave snapping on automatic. There we go. We're just gonna shove a bunch of these. We're gonna build a happy little ramp. Looks like that kind of snapped super inside. Environment clear. There we go. Now we shouldn't have fog. So Sarah, any when will season 2 happen, do you know? Or is that something not announceable yet? Let's build a happy little ramp. Now you can have your ramp be super tight like this, where they're up against each other. It does still seem to cause a little bit of glitching. And by glitching, I mean like everything kind of jiggles a little bit. And that's okay. But yeah, this ramp still looks like it works pretty good. And just delete the doors out. There we go. Got stuck on the side of the ramp. There we go. I like ramps because they're smooth. They look smooth. Sarah says I'm not allowed to announce yet. Yeah, I kind of figured. You can put a floor up here. Sometimes just gotta see where I'm snapping it to here. Try and get it snapped on there center like. Or I can free place it, which is what I'm gonna end up doing, is free placing it. Boop, like so. Add a little support. Everybody needs a little support every now and then, right? Now I've built a nice little ramp. Now you can continue this off to the side as well. Boop. Just make sure that you give yourself enough space, and I don't know if I did, but here's what I mean. Like, so I smushed those all really, really close together. But this time I'm only going to use 4 doors. And I'll go back down here. Bloop, 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 bloop. Oop, wrong one. That'd be a really tall ramp, or a really steep ramp. And now there's just a nice little gap between, and I like that because it lets you be able to see the stuff that's, below it. Let's see if I gave myself enough space. I didn't, so it's 3 tiles. All right, let's do this again. It's all right. Let's break this up here. Oh, you know what? I don't have game sound going on in there. Goodness. It's all right. Let me fix that. All right. Now I have game sound. That's an easy fix. All right. Well, let's do 3 tiles out. Yeah, I was watching a little bit of Naked and Afraid yesterday. I think it was yesterday, actually. Y'all were out in the Ashlands. It was fun. So I'm excited to see some more of that. Boop, boop, boop. Sarah asks, is there a way to do that in place of stairs in a tower? Yeah, for sure. We'll head over to the spiral ramp that I've done. That'll be next. We'll head over to the spiral ramp that I've done. Just, you know, I need to relearn how to do it anyway. But yeah, I think so. There we go. And now that no, we don't do that anymore. This probably will run out of support. Oh, look at that. Doesn't run out of support. Boop. There we go. And now we've got a nice square ramp with a little bit of space in there. You can see through it. I like that more. The only problem with this is I'm just gonna spawn a cart. Kongveal hates carts. I did this on Farmheim once, where I built a ramp into our main home, the main lodge that Erica built, and I made it with nice little gaps so that you could see, and then the cart goes up and it got stuck. So I'm wondering. No, all right. No, see that looks fine. Do carts still float? Can you still do shenanigans in the cart? I had someone ask me recently on one of my videos, how would you go about getting out into water if you were gonna try and build like out here? And you can use a boat, for sure. One of the things that really is kind of helpful that helped me was you can climb into the cart. Yeah, when it's better than what I'm doing. I'm not going to show you me stumbling around in it, but you know, I'll leave that up to your imagination in terms of how you want to get into the cart. But when you're on the cart, you can kind of derp around TOD point 5. There we go. Kind of derp around in it a little bit, and you can kind of lead it in the direction that you want it to go. And I've used this before as a way to build out in the middle of the water. If it's shallow like this, this is probably one of the easier ways to build poles. So yeah, that is definitely a valid technique. Sarah says we did a cart race across water on Valheim. Yeah, that's funny. That's fun. Were there? I didn't see it, but were there obstacles and stuff for you to go around, or was it just was it a straight shot? Let's repair that. I don't know why it's all broken. That's weird. All right, so we have established that ramps are still doable. And then I would kind of just cover this. And my impression is that this is doable. You can do this with any of the slanty stuff, right? So like here's this one. Doesn't mix very well because they snap in different spots because the model is a little bit different. But yeah, you can do ramps with that. You can do ramps with the log beam ones. Again, it just kind of depends on. Let's see, what else do we got? Do we have any other ones? We've got ashwood beams. So we got 26 degree ashwood beam, which I like these. These are nice and dark. And I think they go together really nicely. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Sarah says I'll send you the link for the episode. Oh, nice. Thank you. So cool. All right, let's head over to where I've got the spiral ramp. Because I don't remember how I did it to begin with. So let's look at this. I got myself a nice little demo here. I'm gonna have to relearn how to do the circles because that's something that I don't really remember, truthfully, how I did. So I'm not gonna spend a lot of brain time trying to do that on a stream. But all right, so it looks like, honestly, it just looks like we've got it looks like, alright, so once you've got yourself a circle, doot 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 doot. I never made a tutorial on this. So once you've got a circle going, we'll try and reproduce what we see. So just gonna follow the circle. Now, I think that it's actually something like this, because what would happen if I just did this wouldn't line up right, and it looks cool, but it's not necessarily very rampy, not very usable. So what I think is once you set up the first one, then we have to somehow get the next one attached to it, right? So let's look at this. It might be one of these situations where we have to have an anchor point at the top of each. Oh, hi. What boar is this? What's boar? Oh, that's not even my boar. There we go. Now you're my boar. Alright. We have to have an anchor point for each segment, I believe. And that anchor point has to lead to a straight beam. Otherwise you end up with jank segments, right? So here's the beginning of our spiral ramp that we're building right now, live on in person. Alright, there's our first section. Boop, 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 boop. So I'm going to delete this. And I don't think I need that. And now we're going to put one off of this one here. I can get it to snap. I don't know if they snap nicely. It may actually be easier just to do. Make sure it's at a 90-degree angle relative to the next segment. And then snap it to this. Boop. Add some doors. Where's my doors at? Boop. 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 Right. And then 26-degree beam. Make sure that it is. Even that doesn't quite look right, does it? Yeah. Oh, that's because it snapped to the wrong thing. That's why. That's why. Alright. I need this to snap to the door. Like so. That's probably too far out. I mean, that's on the outer edge of the door, so I mean, that makes sense. Let's see here. Boop. Boop. So I'm not really snapping these in great spots. There we go. Connect to the door. There we go. There we go. There we go. And there we go. Alright. Yeah, I think that's something similar to what we've got going on over here. Because if we look at this, let's put some support in here. If we look at this, these segments don't actually meet up. So they are individual sections. Just like you would build, a spiral staircase, there's always going to be kind of a gap there, unless you're using the fancy piece. That is its own piece, right? But there'll always be a gap there, and you can fill this gap however you want. How did I have it filled? Just by connecting this piece straight ahead, it looks like. Yeah, this piece straight ahead. And I'm okay with that, right? It's still pretty smooth. It's still cartable. So let's look at this. So that's straight out. That's kind of what I got going on. That's straight out, that's straight out. And then put the 26-degree one back up there. Like so. Yeah, I mean that's generally it for how that works. And then you would continue along this, and this is something that I think I get better at as I go, right? Like that's not too bad for doing it for the first time. Not remembering how to do it. I will take it. Let's continue on. So snap this to there. Oops, I have that snapped to the wrong thing. Don't want to snap this to there. We actually want to snap this to the next segment, which will be this. Bloop. Like so. Because the inner circle you can just connect to itself, right? The inner circle will always be your inner circle. If you try and do it from the outer circle, it gets kind of jank. Because that will just, it feels like it won't ever match up, which is kind of a bummer. But yeah, here we go. Boop. And then add the floor. Boop. Let's see if we can just do it this way. Boop. 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 And honestly, the doors should anchor to that, is really what should happen. And then you could just smush in a bunch of doors like so until you have enough doors to do whatever you want. And then let's see, how do we get this? So then you can anchor and get rid of that altogether. I don't even need it anymore. Just anchor to the bottom of the door. Just make sure it's hooked to the bottom of the door. And that's really all there is to it, I think. I think we just kind of simplified that quite a bit. Let's add another one here. Good, like so. And then like so. Just a little bit of support, get rid of all the doors. And then break out the middle ones if you want, but that's kind of how that works. I don't think I angled it quite enough. But also, like, I've got a bunch of extra pieces of wood here. So, yes. What's holding those two up? It's kind of funny. It's kind of jank, isn't it? It's a little different because the anchor point was a little different, wasn't it? That's okay. What's that one in there for? That's kind of interesting, but okay. Alright. Let's do it right. Let's do it the same way we did it before, not change anything, because that clearly didn't work. Try to simplify stuff, but sometimes it doesn't work right. Alright. Let's get up here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I swear, I really don't like falling. I think this is a little different because I anchored it off of, I changed the anchor point midway through, so just bear in mind. There we go. That's more along the lines of what I expected to see. But yeah, cool. Cool. So yeah, that's kind of a demonstration of how you could have a spiral ramp. Clearly it can be cleaned up quite a bit, right? Because this looks really nice. I'm not really spending a huge amount of time working on that. I do have some pretty good, let's head over here. I do have some, at least I think they're pretty good, circle diagrams. So for example, this here is an example of a smallish, so it's a, what is this in terms of yardage, meterage? So this is a 4 meter radius, so an 8 meter diameter spiral staircase circle. So it's, looks like it's just out 2 meters, and then you do your stairs, so out 2 meters from the center of where you want to put it. So that'll be my center. But it's also over or down 1 meter. So you don't just get to slap a set of stairs to this. We have to put a 1 meter square down, and then you can anchor your stairs off of it. Otherwise it won't be centered around the center of where you want it to be. So when you're building a tower or whatever, just keep that in mind. So this is like I said, this was the 8 meter diameter. I've got, do I have, no. I built this when I had 300 subscribers. This is when this tutorial came out. So I've got a bunch of thank you for 300 subscribers out, which is pretty crazy. I'm at a little over 1100. This one here looks like I may have also just done. This one is also kind of like an 8 meter. Let's go see over here. This one's the big one. So it says the most common method I do for towers is similar to the large curved one there. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. So this one looks like it's, where is it from the center point? So it looks like it's 1, 2 and a half and down. So that gives us a good, so there's 1, 2. So I'm counting tiles, not meters. So 1 tile, 2 tile. This one. And then set the stairs down. And then it's one, I think it's 1 tick. We changed snapping a little bit on how snapping works, and then another 1 tick, and then another 1 tick, and then another 1 tick, and then it should break, because this is like the center point, right? So this is the center of that circle, and ultimately it gives us that. So there's that. Let's see. So I have a diameter here set up, so it looks like I've got a circle diagram for this, and then a circle diagram for one that's a little bit smaller. Let's see how this one looks. Wonder if it's this. It's probably 2 tick. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how snapping has changed. Boop. 2 tick. Yeah, 2 tick kind of brings it to the center. So I wonder. Yeah. I'll probably have to revisit this, especially since I kind of want to build a tower. But yeah, I think at the very least we remember how to do the massive McHuge large stairs. And you just have to support it. Here's the first floor, right? You'd have to support it here. And then the second floor is here. So apply that logic to the ramp. as well, because that's how that would work. And then this here is 3 tick. It's if I remember correctly, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's you have to do 3 ticks to build a spiral around this, and it's almost not a circle, and it's pretty tight, like you said. That'll just break, but yeah, and that fits inside like an 8 to 10 diameter stairway. And since the ramp also works that way, what's this note say? Step 1, build the foundation. So this is setting up the circle. Where's my measurement? So I've got 1 and a half tiles, and then the stairway. So that's cool. Okay, I know that's clear as mud. But it's cool to be able to see. And being able to center stuff around something where circles are kind of difficult to make. Sarah says, do much tighter for interior stair on a smaller circumference. Yeah, for sure. I'm not very good at building towers. You guys have built some really, really cool looking towers. I think this is the first and only tower that I've ever built. And I actually posted a video about this. This one I was really, really pleased. It was probably, at the time, it was probably one of the best videos that I had made. This is a really cool looking tower, but it has problems, right? Like it's got these giant gaps in it. But this was what I used for my stone spiral staircase tutorial, which is very similar to how to do the wood ones, but not very tight. And part of the reason why I personally like to have the bigger diameter is just because it doesn't jank my camera up as much. And then I think this was my first floor that I had done like this. Cliff. Wonder where that goes. I have no idea where that's gonna go on here. So in terms of building a stone spiral staircase, it was just very, very expensive, right? But you build 1 stone set of stairs, right? So this one's kind of hovering, but 1 set of stairs, and then off of it some iron in the angle that you want the next set of stairs to be. Like always build off the center circumference, and then support it, right? And then support the next one, and then support the next one. So really the most important part, I think, to me, of building the stone spiral staircase is just this structure here. Like ignore all the stone, but the iron, having the iron framework, and then it doesn't have to go all the way up, right? You don't have to have support all the way here. In fact, this structure, the staircase itself is completely floating, separate from the tower itself, right? Like this is wood. It's not providing really any stability or structure to it. And then the other thing is I used, if we can sneak under here, I used these things, the stone archways, to bridge the gap between. So instead of having to use like the stone floor, you just use the stone archway to bridge the gap in between. Sarah says those floors that I do are super gorgeous. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. I really like the pattern that we can do, and I wanna test and make sure that we can still do this. I really, really like that pinwheel pattern that we get. It's pretty nice. So thanks. Oh, look, I've got a broken out arch. So really what this is just an archway that is anchored from somewhere. think it's anchored from here. Oh my gosh, there's so many new snap points to use. Doodle doodle doo. Anyway, I'm not gonna fight with that because I probably have to take it apart to do it. One of the biggest complications of connecting, and you've probably seen this as well. How do I get out of here? One of the biggest difficulties of connecting. Oh, this was for my fireworks video that I did like 2 years ago. I think I don't have any more. Whoops. Spawn. Core. Cert. What? Is it because it's cap spawn? Thing. Core. Spawning. Facing the wrong way. Let's pick those up. Blah, 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 blah. I'll put those in my inventory. But yeah, you can see at the end of the video where I'm just kind of where one character's sitting up at the top over there, and the other character's just down here spamming fireworks, which was pretty fun to do. But what I was saying before is one of the biggest complications for me for building a spiral staircase is connecting it to an already established build. And what I've always kind of said and recommended for that is start it from the top and work it backwards. And I know that's kind of a pain because you have to add extra scaffolding, and this is a massive, huge, large spiral staircase. But start it from the floor that you want to work from. So like if I wanted to do if I wanted to do a ramp from here, I would work it backwards from here. So you kind of have to know which angle you want stuff to come out at, and then work it backwards. And it does work really well. It's very smooth, and then you can add little doodads and stuff to that. But yeah, this was a massive, huge, large building that I made. And it was the first time that I realized that you could build boats outside of water, and I kind of wanted this to be like the way my dock house was going to be built back when I was playing, like a long time ago, like pre-Hearth and Home. And it kind of tested the limits of size, and then I started thinking about like, okay, what is this in terms of tile by tile, right? Like how big is this kind of structure going to actually be? And then I was talking about it with my wife, and I had the realization that there were probably going to be, if I'd built a structure this big, there were probably going to be areas that like never walked on or never saw. Especially considering just how tall that is. I mean, that's massive. If you were to put a floor every 4 meters, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stories, and then the upper floor, which is kind of nuts, right? If I were to build this on a multiplayer server, like it would be like an inn kind of situation. Like everybody would just live there. You know what I mean? Which would be kind of cool. Like having everybody live in the same spot. Yeah, of course you'd have like your own little houses or whatever you wanted to build, but anyhow, sorry. Over here, oh, that's my first ramp. But yeah, the light pillar thing, I'm not really sure if we can do that without flying. So let's look at this, because I think this was my very first one. Whoops. Alright, and I started on one of these things, right? Like so. Now this is kind of like I said, like with the ramp or the spiral stairs, connecting it to an already established thing. I think this is one of those things where you kind of have to start it from the top and work your way down. So here's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put, of course I'm flying while I do this, so that's kind of cheating, but I'm okay with that. Alright, so 2 meters down from the top, put in a torch, and I particularly like the way they look with this. Put in a torch, okay, and then build another 2 meters down from the top. I haven't watched this tutorial to know how I did it, but I feel like this is pretty consistent. 2 meters down, build a torch. Well, that's kind of far, ain't it? But that's okay. That's alright. Do torches still provide support for themselves, I wonder? I think I used a lot of shift building, and this is why I really haven't done a lot of stuff like this. Because like I think I used a lot of like, just push shift and place it, and then put the thing in. And it's okay. Because then you got your torch sticking through that, right? And then you can do the same thing with the one below it. Right. So yeah, this was something that I think I used a lot of like shift building or free placing. And I don't do a lot of tutorial, or I wasn't really doing a lot of tutorials that required you to do free placing, because to me, I want to be able to share something with you that's like easily reproducible, right? Step by step. Snap points are very, very easy to do that with. So that's part of the reason why I really haven't even built any of these anywhere else. And it looks like they're putting themselves out because I think, let's see, it doesn't look like they provide support for themselves anymore either. That may not work so much anymore, which is okay. It might be a little bit harder, because you can't just place a torch inside another torch, right? You have to be kind of intentional about it. So raise this up just a little bit. Furniture. And if it's just touching it, right? Break it. Yeah, that probably won't work anymore. And that's okay. This was kind of a cool build. Another reason why I didn't really spend a lot of time doing this is because I didn't realize how resource intensive. I mean, check out how many torches I've got here. Like this is kind of nuts. Here, let's spawn gray dwarf eyes. What are they called? Gray dwarf eye? Yeah, let's spawn like 100 of those. Spawn some resin. Oh no, I want some more resin than that. 100 of that. Blah, 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 blah. Just don't have any inventory. Let's get rid of it. I'm on my Farmheim character because I wanted to play as me. My Farmheim character's name is Matt. I just wanted to do that. I don't even think I'll be able to light these. That was the other thing. Is just how difficult they are to light. And I was using a mod. I was using the torches. I think maybe it was just the Torches Eternal mod at the time. To light them. And I think even Christy was like, "How do you light those?" And I was like, I just use a mod. And yeah, it looks like they won't even light anymore. And that's fine. That's okay. So, might not be working as well, but you can definitely use them for passive lighting if you had something else to passively light them with. So, good to know. Let's look at this real quick. Alright. So this was my initial original ductwork that I built out of wood. And I don't even remember how any of this worked. But then, we come up here and you can see I tried to see if you could direct smoke from the fires and have it come up and go out this way, but then it was, you know, really early on that we learned that smoke really doesn't persist very long, which is good since smoke gets used as a physical object in the game. Spawn a bunch of wood, get a bunch of this stuff gone, remove the drops. There we go. That's just too much. Let's see. There we go. Let's see how this ductwork works. Alright. So the smoke comes up, it gets shoved, kinda gets shoved in here. Did they change it so that smoke passes through grates? I'd be okay with that, honestly. Doesn't look like it. It kinda clings to the grate a little bit. And then it comes up, and it looks like it gets forced to here. So it may actually make it out the back. We'll give that a minute. Here, let's time scale 3. Just to speed time up a little bit. Yep, time's moving a little bit quicker. So yeah, that still looks like it works generally pretty well, but it might not make it to the end. And we're in time scale 3, so we're running at 3 times time. So it takes like a couple minutes for it to get here. But it's under control, right? I'm not getting smoked out or whatever that looks like. And you could do the same thing here. Like we've got, I was building little chimneys. It's fixed time scale because that's really fast. And we'll unfly because I know that's kind of twitchy to watch. But we've got some 4 doors down here. Hit it. Right. I'm out of wood. Boo. Just give me some wood here. There we go. So then I was practicing or working on how do you combine, can you combine fire source or smoke sources into one centralized location without smoking yourself out? And yeah, the answer to that is yeah, you absolutely can. The only problem is, like I said, smoke is that physical object still, which requires your computer to do a bunch of calculations. And my poor computer's like, oh, I'm chugging along here. Refly this. Part of the reason why I wanted this is because I didn't really like how smoke just kind of spread in its own little area. And you could have like a fire down below and it's still kind of doing it. But like it would make the upstairs look kind of smoky, and it's still kind of doing it because I don't have a separation between the two anymore. But yeah, that generally works still pretty well. It's kind of a little bit foggy. So I think maybe a couple graphical changes have happened since I've done this. This was like patch 1.0 or whatever, so who knows? Do you know what I mean? So we'll see. But yeah, I like this, and it looks like this one was short enough for the smoke to be able to start coming out through like the chimney area. And that's kind of what I wanted, is I wanted to be able to redirect the smoke from one place and have it come out in a completely different place without smoking my character out. I'm pretty proud of that, actually. If I do more tutorials on this kind of stuff, maybe I'll do one on this. But I feel like, honestly, there are so many videos about how to do chimneys and how to do ductwork and whatnot. That might be a little saturated. But yeah, that's pretty neat. I'm pretty pleased with that, and I would use that again somewhere else. So time of day 0.2. And that looks pretty cool. Okay. Time of day 0.5. Let's bring it back to daytime. And let's free fly that. Very cool. Thanks, Sarah. I appreciate it. Cool. What else do I have going on over here? I think this was one of my first attempts at building an elevated platform. Which we can still do really easily. And I think this was also one of my first attempts at building. I think that was my first, like, attempt at building a spiral staircase. And then I was like, how do I repeat this? And then I was like, oh my gosh, finding the center of a circle is really difficult. And this also was that problem. Like, you can tell how this is not quite centered on it, because I was like, I don't really know how to find the center of a circle in this game. So I guess that kind of leads me to the next thing, which is, oh, I liked this. This was my first ramp that I built. And then again, I was like, oh, how do you repeat this? Because, you know, when I try and teach people stuff, which we've already kind of done ramps already. And then this thing, I was working on building a portal hub. I thought that might be kind of cool to have like a portal where it was just kind of chilling here. Oh, where does this go? We'll check that. We'll see where that goes. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. But let's item now loading. Should probably pick that iron up though. That's Farmheim iron. All right, where did this take us? This was back before I was like using dev commands to do stuff. So like I actually like farmed up a bunch of junk, and then I had like a pile of stuff. And I was like, clearly I was like eating food and whatnot and making food down here. Where are we even? What platform is this? Okay, so this is just the ramp platform. Cool. Cool. Alright. So I think that covers pretty much everything here. Hi, Canaris. How are you doing this day? We're just running around looking at stuff that I've done before, trying to... Yeah, this is my test world. We're just kind of running around and looking at stuff that I've done before and seeing if I can remember how to do the stuff. And if some of the stuff still works. Like the light pillars don't really work so well anymore. Yeah, here's my demo. Yeah, I clearly free placed these. I think I free placed them. Maybe I didn't free place them. Yeah, I did. I free placed those. And that's part of the reason why I don't do that anymore. Kenner says, can't complain. How am I doing? I'm doing okay. I'm doing good. I'm kind of excited to be... I was really invested in light pillars though. Because I think they were kind of unique. I don't think anybody had done them yet. So I was trying it out in different all my junk. Look at all my junk. Yeah, I just have carts full of junk. Different materials. Anyhow, let's see. Let's just kind of explore, because it's been a minute since I've been on this test world. I was working on a nice little, trying to make a nice little stone building corner. Trying to figure out how to use stone build. Honestly, is the major thing. I think we'll revisit the oven walls here in a little while. We'll see how that works. I like the oven walls, and I think I'm going to reuse those. Because I just think it's funny when you go around the circle, they open. It's interesting. Kenner says, "Ooh, you should see what I've done for the Atlantis light LED thing." Oh yeah. Yeah. I should see that. You're right. Have you posted that? If not, then post it in the Discord, and I will check it out. Just like you posted your art. That was really cool. Very well done, Kenner. I'll put the Discord link in the channel for anybody that wants to join. All right. Here is my original tutorial thing. So we already saw fireworks. We already know how fireworks work. 12-meter support pole. without mods. So this was a tutorial that I did a while ago that I don't think is super valid anymore because we can change snap points. Because you can just do that. Can you do higher than 12 meters? Not really easily. Alright, kittens, you do not get to lay on my mouse. Can I get it up there? It looks like I might be able to. Not like super easily. Okay, so building 12-meter support poles is super easy. Before it was build a pole, scooch a pole inside the pole, scooch another pole on top of that pole, and then just do it that way. So I definitely am thankful for the new snapping mechanic. It's kind of a bummer that it invalidates one of my tutorials. But that's okay. Progress, right? Kenner says, no, Atlantis build pieces have... Oh, it's just on your Flatlands world. You've been thinking about redoing them with the Greystone pieces? Yeah. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Alright, so we did that. I made a video about item stands. We don't need to do that. How to center on 2x2. I don't really remember, so we're going to have to work on that. How to center on 1x1s. And then how to center on like random stuff. So we'll work on that here in a second. So let's look at this. I think I may actually have to watch the video. Because I remember it being kind of complicated. Because like, sure, you can free place stuff. Centering on 2x2 is pretty easy. Like that's apparently all that takes. Yeah. So centering on a 2x2 is really easy. Just drop a 1x1 and then drop your thing where you want it to be. And now that's centered. So that's cool. Centering on a 1x1 though, if I recall correctly, required a bunch of shenanigans. And actually, hang on. Did I have these centered inside this? Yeah, check this out. So I have a 1x1 centered inside a 2x2. Centered inside a... Or, you know, something centered inside that. So that's kind of nuts. So I don't really remember how to do that. I'm not even sure if I can, like, piece it together in my brain. But, let's look at this. How did we do this? Goodness, how did we do this? I think I only used like rudimentary easy to find pieces so that everybody could do it. So Kenner says, yeah, snap points have helped tons. It also helps with docks. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Oh, Kenner, you're right. You're right. It's probably the door, eh? Yeah, I think there were door shenanigans. Yeah, there were door shenanigans. That's right. I remember I got a bunch of comments saying, "Oh, it's not actually centered." It's like, well, yeah, I know, it's not actually like it's not pixel perfect centered. So we live in an imperfect world, right? Yeah. What's it grabbing? It's grabbing something else. I'm not really sure what it's grabbing here. You've got something under there. But yeah, okay, so it was the door, and I think, if I remember correctly, it's 2 doors, and then 2 doors, maybe 3. Do it on a different tile. 'Cause there's clearly something under that tile that it's grabbing hold of. 1, 2, and then 1, 2. Let's put 3 doors there, just to 3 doors down, you know? Yeah. Let's do 3 doors. It might be 3 and 3. I don't remember. The power of the door. That's clearly not right. Okay. Yeah, it's gotta be the door. I recommend watching that tutorial if you are interested in centering stuff, because like I'm gonna have to look at it again. So hang on, let me pull it up. I don't mind pulling it up, as long as I don't have to watch an ad on my own video, which I've noticed that I've had to do. Like I've had to watch ads on my own videos, which is kind of weird, right? But I don't think I'm getting paid for it. All right. Let me switch my thing to a display capture here so that you all can see what I'm doing. There we go. Now you should be able to see what I'm doing. And then I'm just janking this up right now. Let's add desktop audio to this too, so that at the very least we can hear what's going on too. All right, I'm on my own channel. Let's see, center. It's got to be what it's called, right? Build from the center of a floor tile. All right, we've got that one down. I feel like we're good at that. Build from the center of a 1x1 floor tile. There we go.
1x1 floor tiles. To start, I'm going to put a 1x1 wood floor right here. And then I'm going to use a wood door and place it off to the side here.
Oh, wow.
And then I'm going to snap another one here and then put one inside that, like this.
Okay.
There's a gap between the last door that I built and the floor tile. This gap is what makes it possible to center on that floor tile. I'm going to snap a 1 meter wood beam from the bottom of the last door that I built to the floor tile. I'm going to place this here, and then I can just delete all of the guides. This method gives you consistent results across different build pieces.
Well, this video's got 121 likes on it.
1x1 stone wall.
I feel pretty good about that.
Then build my doors. Here's the first door. Next door to the side. Next door inside that one. Then build a bridge. And then build down from there. Next, stone pillar. Place that. Build a door. Build another door. Build another door. Build a bridge. This one's a little tricky. You could probably build some stairs. And put the top on it. And that's it. Thank you.
Cool. Well, that's generally pretty easy, actually. Mute all that. Okay. Kenner says, I had to put my raid/mob video on hold because of the bog witch update coming out soon. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm anticipating some things changing between now and then as well. I've read through the patch notes. There's a bunch of stuff in there. Alright. Build a 1x1 floor tile. Build a door. Build another door and a door inside it. And then thing. And then I didn't do that far enough over. I watched the video but then like didn't pay attention to my own direction. Skeleton surprise, speaking of raids. That's fine. Alright, I actually don't want that happening. How do you stop it? Stop event. And oh my gosh, what are they doing? Look how many spawned. Just gonna make sure I don't have any feeding on myself. Yeah. just beating on my stuff. But like, look how many skeletons spawned over there. That's kind of nuts, isn't it? Alright, enemies. Remove drops. Just so that we don't have a bunch of junk. Alright, anyhow. So that's how you center on a 1x1 floor tile. Which I thought was kind of important for basic projects. Where you wanted like a consistent result, or like if you wanted to put like a little, this actually was kind of important for my carousel, because I needed to be able to place things consistently as opposed to shift placing stuff or free building stuff, which again I'm not the biggest fan of doing, which I know limits my capabilities as a builder decorator, but it's still kind of a thing. Kenner says there are a few issues with the events. Now I have to recheck all the things after the update. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. People wonder why it takes 6 to 8 business months for videos. No, I don't really wonder. You take your time to put out good quality videos. You take whatever time you need to, and we'll watch them for sure. For sure. Kenner says the commands have keybinds. K for killing everything. I don't know the default for removing drops. Yeah. I know. I'm old. I don't know. I don't have a yeah, I think that also gets rid of deer and stuff. So that's how you center on a 1x1, and you guys saw the video. Just build a bridge for those, and it's kind of the same situation here. Like up here on these things, you just treat these walls. Heavy build. I'm still learning this stuff. Like they've made a bunch of changes, and I kind of stopped playing for a while. You do the same thing on these, that you just treat these as individual 1x1 sections to be able to place on there. I'm not gonna do it because it's etc. Kenner says for fly mode, use Control Shift C plus mouse scroll wheel. That's a lot of buttons. Let's see. This was a really easy tutorial, just making a cooking station and placing a bunch of these. However, I wanted to see my next. I want to see if I can do this for miscellaneous. All right. I want to check and see if you can do the same thing with the iron cooking station. They don't really smush in very nicely, do they? They don't like play nice with each other. In fact, it's like if they touch each other's like bounding box, they just go red. But so is 3 the maximum number that you can place on one of those? Because that's what I'm gonna do the next time I need to build a massive cooking station. So I'm probably just gonna pile 3 of those doodads on top of one of these and call it good. And that works. What is this? Is this? So I understand the chains and the hooks, but it looks like this is just like meat goo hanging down from my cooking station. I don't feel like that's sanitary. It's probably not very safe, eh? Kenner says can control flight speed, so it's not as jarring when flying around. Yeah. Yeah, is it? Okay, hang on. Do you know how to do that in default? Because I remember being able to do that like a long time ago. But like my mouse wheel doesn't do that anymore. Hang on. Control and shift. Is that it? Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it's not. I'm not doing it. Alright, hang on. Anyhow, I used to have an auto hotkey script specifically for those buttons. Second floor fires. Second floor fires are really easy. If you want a fire on a second floor, you just have to have something under it to support the fire, either stone or whatever. So like loop, and then you can build your wood underneath it. And delete the whatever from under it. So you can do that with either iron or stone. Usually by the time you've reached the point where you can build stone, you've got you've got iron, so you don't necessarily need to put it on wood. So this is mostly for if you're in meadows or black forests, to be able to do. And I don't know, I like doing that. I like having second full fires. Whoops, I didn't mean to break that. But that's okay. I might learn the keybinds. I just use dev commands so infrequently that like that. I think that's part of the reason why I just let's see. My shield. I did a video for shield customization, which I'm planning on at some point expanding on it. So and having like a, I don't know, probably having guests, either Farmheim guests or whomever. I haven't forgotten about y'all. I certainly haven't forgotten about like subscribers, people who are consistently here, like Canaris. You're consistently here. I want to get people involved. I had built this as like a little catwalk, so that we could all do a little turn on the catwalk with a different color shield on it, so that people could see the different variations of shields. Because I like to be able to see those things. And in fact, I think I had gotten all of them set up and ready to go, and never did it because that's mental health is important, and it's important for people to take care of. All right. Underwater building. This was kind of the beast, right? So let's that's a lot of shield scanners. Yeah, for sure. Let's get down here and let's free this boat. And let's do some underwater build testing to see if it still works. I saw there was a bug recently where just be minding your own business on the water and your boat just sinks straight down. That was kind of an entertaining thing to see. Will it destroy itself? No, it righted itself. That's pretty cool. Right. Let's pick up that stuff. We'll unfly. Actually, it's probably just going to be easier if I get a new boat in here. Come on. Hello, boat. Alright. Just bonk it. I'm gonna bonk it. There we go. I'll just fly back up here. Alright. So, in order to build under water, Kenner says, this helped me make a really nice dock on G-Rock server. Nice. Well, I remember that. I remember that. Thanks, Kenner. Thanks for that call out. Alright. Gotta have something to build against / on. And I use the carve because the carve is a lot more manageable. You can use the longship, but the carve is a lot more manageable in terms of its size. Now clearly I already have stuff built here, but really I just want to see if this still works. Like if your character stays connected to the boat when you go underwater. So, bloop. Bloop. Bonk that underneath. Doesn't look like. There we go. Alright. Usually that would have caused an issue. Get this as centered on this as I can. Just kind of shove against stuff to shove the boat around. Kind of like in real life. I appreciate. Alright. And then the next thing is to not forget to set the sail so that it is that way. Otherwise it will get stuck on whatever you set next to it. Alright. Bonk. Let's get this under here. Oh, okay. So it didn't like that. And that's okay. We can kind of recenter that a little bit. I will say, usually if I've got problems like this early, it's just an indication that you're going to have troubles in general. Like this. Okay. Okay. Now we start to see if our character gets disconnected from the boat. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. One on each side. One on each side. Can't see anymore. Right. Remove these. And look at that so I can see. Always loot the stuff that's floating up here because it will block field of vision. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Bloop, bloop, bloop. This. Alright, so it looks like this one is uneven. Like that. Like that. That. And it looks like, I'm just gonna free fly. Looks like we're underwater by a decent amount. So that's exciting. So I am super excited that that isn't broken. I will test it in the next patch, but it looks like that's not broken. So that's really exciting. I'm glad. So you can still use the Valheim elevator. Can I open boat storage? That's a good question. Without disconnecting from the boat? That is a good question. Yes. Yes. Very good question. Let's put this boat all the way down to the bottom. And I think this was generally I had a lot of fun doing this one. This was a difficult tutorial to me. Simply because like you get to a point where you stop being able to see. And Canaris, you know. You know. That it gets to a point where it's like, oh, start guessing, and the instant you miss, or a wave takes you, yeah, that's what happens. The boat will start jiggling. Now, ordinarily, without dev commands turned on, that's just game over. But I should be able to rescue that. Because I missed, right? There we go. Yeah, I was able to rescue it. You know, I'll leave it there. I won't try and build from the other side. So gap. There we go. All right. Oh, and you know what? With the new snap point, it may actually be easier. Oh, I am disconnected from the boat though, so I won't be able to reconnect. With the new snap points, it might actually be easier to do. Depending. I haven't really tried yet. It doesn't look like it wants to grab it. Yeah, it doesn't look like it wants to grab it. Darn. I was really hoping that would make it easier. Shoot. That's alright. Cool, well I'm excited that that still works. Which means that like stuff like this over here should still be possible. Right? Let's see. I don't know if I put a chair in there or not. Let's see if I put a chair in here. No, just a bed. Oh no, there is a chair. Alright, let's see if we can get the chair. Oh, wrong one. Is this free fly? No, okay, good. Alright. Now, let's see if we can get the chair. We might not be able to get it because we can't actually see it. Which is a bummer. That's kind of a bummer. Alright, so you actually, like, your camera has to see it. It's not your character that has to see it. But that's okay. Just dancing underwater. Let's see. Spawn fish. So clearly I'm underwater because that's the fish there. That's so great. This was really cool. This was a really cool thing to do. It was really hard. But it's something. Kenner says luckily I didn't have to go too far down for the dock. Yeah. Dock was just 12 meters at the deepest point, but I was fixing stonework, which was closer to 7 to 8 meters at the lowest point. Yeah, I mean that is difficult. I mean that was a heck of a thing to do. So really good job. Let's free fly off. We'll just keep fishing. We'll just keep fly on. Am I trapped? No. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. And I think the last thing that I want to look at, because it's only been an hour and a half. Goodness. I'm gonna grab a drink. Hang on. Because this character doesn't sleep. Throat gets kind of dry and scratchy. So, I know that this works. Still. And it looks like it needs to be, it looks like it just needs to be adjusted. Because it's kind of jank. So let's get a little bit of adjustment in here. Adjusting does require you to free place stuff. And it's kind of an adjustment to taste, right? It's however you like it. I usually put like this. I usually put the adjusters further up. Oh no. Just need to be able to let the boat swing and boop. That might be a little bit tight. That may have been too far up. Let's try to put it a little further down. And move that. We'll see. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want to see if I can do a carousel with a new boat, which I think would be really cool. Oh, Canners, you would know. And then Sarah would know too if she's still here. But the new pets that you can get in Ashlands, the ones that you can tame, can they be put on follow as well? I haven't been out there. To know. But can you tell them to follow you? No, they need a saddle. Okay. See if that kind of fixed it. Because without the adjustment, it wasn't able to turn. It was getting stuck. It looks like it's still going to get stuck over here. But that's okay. It was turning just fine before, but it was a really, really tight adjustment that I put in there. It's kind of crazy. Looks like it's going to get a little stuck. Let's just spin it. Proof of concept, I guess. But I know the Ashlands boat is much, much bigger. So I'm gonna have to like rebuild this completely, and redesign it completely for it. But I do have an idea for that. Kenner says they're like locks. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Are you guys still following me? I logged out like a while ago. Yeah, they're still following me. All right, let me just come over here. Yeah, the Ashlands boat is massive. Alright, yeah, that seems to still be working. That seems to still be working just fine. So, that's exciting. I will probably build a new carousel at some point. I have a different design where it's just one arm. It's just this back arm instead of using all three arms. And that's part of the problem. It's just overly complex. But I think this was like the first one I built for a tutorial. But the first one that I actually built was over on Christie's server. So I think that's everything. that's on the test server. I mean, I got my massive and huge large. I was testing to see how far fire goes because I wanted to see how many fires I actually needed for the massive and huge large. And I think this was before there was a wiki, even. So, Kenner says it's really cool though. Thank you. Thanks, Kenner. I really appreciate it. But yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff that I was pretty proud of, and am still pretty proud of. Like, this is pretty cool. I have not implemented anything like this on any of the servers that I've played on, or any of the other worlds, because it is a massive amount of work. But I think that if I do play on a multiplayer server, I'll make something neat like that. Let's see. We want to test the floors. I know they've changed snapping. I don't think they've changed it so much that you can't do these anymore. But you know, who knows? If it's easier or harder. I think it's generally if you just leave snapping on auto. Sometimes it's easier to just do it like that. Like so. Build a little bridge. Excuse me, sorry, I'm gonna make like gross sounds into my microphone if I did or not. Yeah, this seems to work just fine still. So that hasn't changed. That hasn't changed at all. Let's see, there's another tutorial that I need to go revisit because I've seen some people say that it doesn't work anymore. I think my computer might crash if I go over here, because I think I've got like 100 or 1,000 wolves just chilling over here, but let's see. Are they still over here, or did I use the object remover to remove them? I may have used the object remover to remove them. I had like a ton of wolves that I just kind of spawned in as a test. Let's spawn a Leviathan real quick. Spawn Leviathan. Spawn Leviathan. Blah, 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 blah. Let that sink for a second. Let that thing sink for a second. Someone told me they had eyes. Where are they? Is that them? That's their eyes, huh? Huh. That's cool. Blah, 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 blah. Smoke routing, yeah. Love smoke routing. Kenner says I did the smoke routing when building in dungeons. Oh yeah, that seems like a good idea. Alright. Oh, wrong one. Just type in flight. Probably good. So, what I've been told is that pickaxe. Pickaxe. Let's get an iron one, because I don't even know if I've got a black metal one on Farmheim. I don't want to give myself something I don't have. What I've been told is that this doesn't work anymore. This tutorial. So, this tutorial was kind of a way to make sure that you can get all of the abyssal barnacles done. And I think it was mine the thing until it makes noise, or until it starts to shake. Let's give this a shot. Mine the thing. Let's get rid of the barnacles. So it's shaking, but I don't think it's going to sink yet. It's the second time it shakes. Alright, so I got that. Mine this barnacle. Hello? There it is. Alright. It's shaking. Log out. And log back in. Kenner says that's why I use Jar's mod. There's mods on my test world. No drops from any mods and such. Yeah. Yeah. I think I had that one. For a while. Whoop. And it's gone. Okay. Alright. But someone else literally today said that it works. So oh, I'm inside it. Help, I'm trapped inside. There we go. So hi, Lord Liam. Was I in single player? Yes. I can't help but wonder if it's do it before it starts to sink. I'm actually just gonna mine 3 out. How are you doing, Liam? Welcome in. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Let's try this again. Launch that. Liam says, as soon as it shakes. Okay. Okay. So I just don't have the timing right. On it. Is it as soon as it shakes the first time? Okay, yeah, it's still here. It's still here. Or just in general. Because now it looks like it's gonna sink on me. And that's fine. My mining skill's not very high, which probably doesn't help, to be honest. If my mining skill was higher, I would probably have an easier time at it. And if it's still there, it's still there. Cool. Yeah, it's still here. Okay. And then I should just be able to bonk that. Yep. And then come over here. No stamina. Oh, I'm gonna die. Death commands. Cool. Liam says it's on a timer and the shake activates it. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. So, and that also makes sense as to why I've seen mixed results on that tutorial. Is because I'm not really sure if I understood that when I made the video. I think I may have just been like, as soon as it shakes, do this thing, log out and log back in, and you'll be able to mine all the stuff. It's a pain in the butt, but it's easier than having to find 15 of them. And I have done this I think I did this on Farmheim to demonstrate that it works while on a multiplayer server as well. Because like when you sign out, your character stops existing. It's only day 5629 on the server. Canorus, I can't hold a candle to you with your 999k on your test server. What else have I tested? I think I've pretty much gone through everything. We previous to this, like right before you popped in, we retested building underwater using the elevator mode that I made up, and that still works just fine. I will retest that when Bogwitch launches because I think that it's kind of cool. I've retested the carousel. That still works. Smoke routing, so using what's that? Oh, I was building another tutorial platform. I've got so much stuff spread out through this world, it's kind of nuts. The ductwork still works, although I think they did change. Canorus, you guys might know. Did they change the smoke model? Is it still a physical item that requires your computer to calculate, and are we still limited to like 100 instances of smoke? We tested our floors; those still work. Spiral staircases and stuff still work. light pillars, I wasn't really able to reproduce those. So if you've seen like my very first tutorial ever, was light pillars, and I wasn't able to reproduce that. Ramps still work, so I mean here's one of the ramps that I built a long time ago. Just with all the new snap points and whatnot. And then we played around a little bit. I have this that I don't even remember how I did it, so I'm gonna have to relearn. I think it's just an adaptation of my hearth wall, which I don't remember how that works either. I'm gonna have to rewatch. I'm gonna have to rewatch those tutorials myself, and I haven't. I didn't do any prep work for this. In fact, I was like, hey, do you mind if I stream in like 10 minutes? So that was where that went. Kenner says, I realized something. I didn't look at the info of the Leviathan in the mob thing. I should add that to the list. Yeah, do it. Go for it. That's a good idea. Kenner says Flatlands is at 900k. Yeah. You spent too much time on there. Well, you do a lot of testing and you do a lot of really cool stuff. Kenner says, I've not tested the smoke, but they changed the fires and stuff, so smoke definitely got some treatment. Okay, that makes sense. Because I remember if you had a gap between, so like for example, if you had a gap between the ceiling and the, like how I've got, where is it? Oh, here. How if you have a gap between here and here, that the smoke wouldn't show up here as much. Sorry, I didn't mean to shake my camera. But now it still shows a little bit of the misty smokiness. Like you can see it from up this massive building. You can see a little bit of it up here. It's not as bad, but it's definitely something that I encountered, especially with my my hard mode playthrough. There was a patch that happened, and then you could see all the smoke above my mining base, or my mine shaft base, and I was kind of like, oh, okay. And I guess that's okay. That's what it is. Sign stuff still functions. It's a little bit harder to do because it makes the tags vanish as soon as you type the tags. Liam says, I'm going to rewatch this then. Thank you. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you being here. Kenner says, for fires, it was just a visual change, so I think the smoke got a visual update. Yeah, that's generally consistent with what I've experienced as well. So, I got a text. Boogity boo. What do I do with this? I don't know. What do you do with that? Firefox error. I'm gonna have to help my mom with some Firefox stuff because it's given her an error. So yeah, I think that was generally it. We went through my centering, how to center on a 1x1 and how to center in a 2x2. These doodads, which was really cool. That moved. That kind of freaked me out. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how all this stuff kind of held up. I'll take 1 out of 10. 10 things not working as well. Kenner says X-ray signs still work. Yeah. I'm a little disappointed in how transparent signs have gotten in terms of that. Let me find where is it here? Sign. I find it again. Sign. Right, so what I mean by that is size equals 1000 M. Right. Oh, this looks solid actually. So I wonder why my other one's transparent on my Erikan't playthrough. Color. Oh, hey, my tags are back. So that's nice. Except for the fact that, there we go. Yeah. Interesting. So if I hit, oh no. There we go. Size equals 1000. Oh my gosh. Alright. check the graphic settings. That, you know, that makes sense. I wonder if something changed on, let's head over to Ernst real quick. Cause I did mess with my, my graphic settings a little bit. And exactly that, like you just said, Kenris, that may actually be the setting that I changed. I don't want to log in with Matt on Ernst. I want to log in with Ernst on Ernst. And I don't want to die. So I just have to remember that I'm not going to be God mode. But so I'm going to look at this, and then I feel like that's probably a good place to end, because I think my mom's going to need some help with her Firefox stuff. All right, I'm still in my. Oh, I did some updates to my mining base, actually, my mineshaft base. I added a hearth ceiling just to kind of clean that up and make it look a little better. Yeah, okay. So this is still see-through. So that's good. Because I liked that. I liked being able to see out. And then I put a fire above this. Is it out though? It's kind of weird. Because it was glowing. Wonder why that's out. It wasn't out like 30 minutes ago. Let's There we go. That's fine. I'm okay with that. There we go. It adds a little bit of glow to it. Makes it look a little bit welcoming. Yeah, I really like how this works. How that ends up looking functionally. So, but that's pretty cool. I recently just reposted, or I didn't repost, but I noticed that a lot of people were watching my signs videos again, which is pretty cool. Oh, I added I did a little bit of decoration in here so that I have comfort level 13, which is nice. You can tell I added a bunch of fires though, because like it's feeling kind of chunky. But I am running like max graphics, and then I had just enough iron left to do a cooking station, so I put a cooking station in here, which lets me cook all the lox meat that I've got from my what was it, my bone mass and my Yagluth fight, the one that I did at the same time. So anyhow, I feel like that's probably a good spot to call it. We definitely did a lot of work while we looked at a bunch of stuff, so I feel like that's probably a good place. I have a stream on Sunday. I think it's after Kongveal has his stream for let me plug him real quick, Kongveal. Because Kongveal is, and the Farmheim team are going to be doing the Queen this weekend on the Kongveal Survives channel. So, if you're just catching up with us, or if you don't know, check those out. Because, that should be a lot of fun. Truthfully, that should be a lot of fun to see. So, anyhow, like I said, Kenner says, I know they'll be changing the dungeon loading system. Yeah, you had mentioned that, I think the last time I was streaming, and something else with it, so that might affect a few things. I'm interested to see. What they do. So I guess we'll just keep an eye out on that and go from there. But I do plan on being a little bit more active, and I do plan on doing a little bit more work on some of this stuff here pretty soon. So I'm gonna be looking for problems to solve, because that's usually what I end up doing, is I end up running into a problem and then trying to solve it in a way that's easily and repeatable. So this was fun. I got to share or re-go over some of my easily and repeatable tutorials and see what worked, what didn't. It was a lot of fun. So thanks for being here. Take care of yourself. Be kind and safe. And we'll see you in another stream. Bye, everybody.